Welcome to the Black Gay History Channel. Please share this video and subscribe to this channel for more captivating content. Rent was a groundbreaking Broadway musical turned blockbuster movie that changed the landscape of what kinds of stories could be told in popular Broadway shows and who they told their stories about. Rent hit New York theaters in 1993, growing to become a box office record breaker on Broadway in 1996. The musical's storyline is loosely based on the French novel turned opera about Parisian artists, La Bohème, written by Italian composer Giacomo Puccini in 1896. The musical was considered the first rock opera to make it big on the Broadway stage, which seemed to open up the stage for new musical genres to be profitable on Broadway, as well as showing the at times majority white and straight Broadway viewers that Black and brown LGBT stories, and those affected by HIV and AIDS, could reach new diverse audiences and bring them to Broadway. The story follows several artistically inclined friends in 1989's Lower East Manhattan as they navigate trying to survive as artists while New York's rent prices become unlivable, and many of them are secretly living with HIV and struggling with AIDS diagnoses. Rent brought the struggles of Black and brown queer people and people living with HIV to a relatively conservative space. Though we may see Broadway as a very affirming LGBT space now, it wasn't always telling these unique stories, and Rent was a huge part of creating that shift. The rock musical was written and composed by John Larson, and most of the major characters sing songs about struggling with their AIDS diagnosis, as well as complicated by sexual love affairs, or freezing because their heat's been cut off in the middle of a New York winter. I always feel like, though it may not be recognized as such, Rent has always come off to me as a Christmas movie, because so much of the movie's music and atmosphere is centered on the holidays like Christmas and New Year's. The first, and one of the most iconic songs in the musical, Seasons of Love, sets the stage for the movie where all the characters sing about how you measure a life worth living. As the movie takes us through a full year of the friends coming together and having dramatic experiences, when the seasons change, will they be together or separated by money, betrayal, or even death? Jesse L. Martin does an impeccable job playing Tom Collins, a gay college professor, philosopher, and computer genius who lives with his friends Roger and Mark, but ultimately moves in with his love, Angel Dumont Chouinard, a queer musician and drag queen known for being the life of the party. In the play and film, it's clear Collins is a liberal intellectual with the means to climb the social ladder, but has no interest in becoming rich. He also has to deal with the fact that he and Angel both have AIDS diagnoses, and being a gay man on the streets of New York in 1989 is a dangerous chore. Though Jesse L. Martin is the longest running and most recognizable actor to play Tom Collins, rock musician and actor Pat Briggs played Tom Collins in the original Broadway theater workshop, and the role was reprised by Wayne Brady in 2010 and Brandon Victor Dixon in 2011. I love a great musical, and this one always tugs on my heartstrings. Though there are many tear-jerking and heartbreaking moments in this movie, there are plenty of laughs and romance in the film as well. The song La Vie Bohème is a playful and irreverent kiss-off to conservatism that nicely wraps up the socio-political ideologies of the friend group, which is unabashedly queer, intersectional, and anti-capitalist, and is one of my favorites from the soundtrack. I'll Cover You is an upbeat pop love song where we get to see Tom Collins and Angel frolic in the streets of New York, professing their undying love for each other, and I think the lyrics are beautifully written. The reprise of I'll Cover You shows the power of the music, where the same song, arranged differently, can tell a completely different story. While the first version is an upbeat love song, the reprise becomes a painful piano ballad about making peace with losing someone you love. I cry every time he sings it, and Martin does a bang-up job delivering these vocals. The tango Maureen features a bisexual love triangle, where Mark, a recently dumped straight documentarian, finally meets the woman his ex, pop activist Maureen, left him for. Joanne, a tough but lovable and successful lawyer, commiserates with Mark as they both realize that Maureen's wandering eye will never change. And in the epic duet, Take Me or Leave Me, Joanne and her fiancé Maureen have a full blowout at their engagement party about Maureen's infidelity, and the vocals and performances on this track are top tier. Rent was able to create a cultural shift in the theater and movies where Black and queer people living with HIV could take center stage, and the viewers at home could shed tears of gratitude for seeing versions of their own loved ones and lost ones portrayed on stage and on screen.